Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarian. I'm joined by the original starting lineup for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Rich Sambolian. What was your big thing?
What do you mean?
Like, they all have like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
They all have like a signature.
I just punched the guy.
You just punch him?
Straight up.
Did you take the ball?
I toss the ball in the air as a stiff jab, and then I catch it. And that's it.
A lot to talk about today. If you're watching us live and you see the little lower third here, you're going to notice something.
Uh-oh.
What do you notice?
Well, it says Matt Men,
Uh-huh.
Pro Wrestling Podcast,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a W
Uh-huh.
and an exclamation point.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Guess what, fellas?
We're back.
We're back.
We're back on the Wrestling Observer. Thank you very much.
Well timed.
There is no show on Observer that is like this.
No.
I can guarantee you that. We're back on Wrestling Observer. Nothing is changing.
No.
If you're watching this live, you're going to be able to go to WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com, and check out the show there. It'll also still be here. Nothing is changing.
Is it long enough? Remember when we first got on Observer?
Yeah.
And everybody hated us for the first
they really
3
hate.
months. They hated us.
No,
for the
they
first 3
still hate
months.
me.
But we got them to come around
A little bit.
and then the comments went from really nasty, toxic shit to like, you know what? I gave you guys a chance. I really like it.
Yeah,
You know?
Listen,
We turned the tide.
We do something a little different here.
Very different.
We did. This
Very
show
different.
is a morning show
Mm-hmm.
that's wrestling adjacent.
Sure.
We talk about wrestling. We talk about our personal lives. This is therapy for me.
Absolutely. We
You
talk
get a
about
couple
the
scoops.
Globetrotters.
We talk about the Globetrotters. A lot of wrestling, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestling.
It's a whole lot of wrestling.
TNA coming up, the way that they've been coming up with the WWE affiliation has been really something interesting, and I'm really enjoying TNA again.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It is exciting. It's all very exciting.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Real quick here.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? I'm going to try to phrase this as eloquently as possible.
Okay.
Do you think there was an internal conversation with WWE that looked at what Tony Khan is doing with Ring of Honor and saying, you know what, we can do one better with TNA. This could be our better feeder system, or this could be a better joint venture, much like they looked at the original Ring of Honor template for NXT years ago.
I think I don't know this time around because it's hard to predict what they're doing. It is interesting, though. I mean, when that entire company is very much WWE centric now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, they have a lot of WWE guys. They have a lot of former WWE guys, and you have a lot of guys that are probably going to end up in WWE.
For sure. You can also sense that a lot of the TNA people are very hungry.
Who are the two? Like, give me like 3 names that you think would end up in WWE.
Joe Hendry.
Okay.
It's tough because I'm blinded by all the WWE guys that are there already. Like Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Like he's going to come back probably.
JBL.
I would say Joe Hendry, number 1.
Okay.
Jordan Grace is already over. She would have
yeah.
been my other pick. And Chris Bay's not there anymore, right?
Well, he's
He's hurt.
He's
remember?
hurt, right?
He
like, he's going to be out for quite a while.
He's going to be out for a while.
like
but
it's bad.
But he was on that TNA roster.
He was on fire.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. A healthy Chris Bay.
Yeah. We know that Speedball Mike Bailey's not going.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Mike Bailey's going to AEW. I'll say it now. I believe Josh Alexander also.
Josh Alexander.
And that's coming soon.
He's a free agent, right?
I think he's going to AEW.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure? Oh, interesting.
Believe so.
Okay.
Masha for sure. I could see going.
Fantastic.
She's fantastic. Santana would be interesting to see.
Yes.
Going there, but it is an interesting relationship, and I don't really understand the dichotomy of it. I don't know they're both benefiting for sure. NXT's benefiting because you had the Hardys on.
I want Mike Santana to be a focal point of NXT.
I would love that also. He's very talented.
Yeah.
Very, very talented. Where do you want to start? There's a lot going on. Elimination Chambers on Saturday. You have SmackDown tonight. The Rock is waiting for that boy's soul.
You got to pay the troll toll.
You got to pay the troll toll.
To get that boy's soul.
To get into that boy's soul.
We didn't talk about that promo, right?
Oh, no, we didn't. It was very bizarre.
You know how many, besides whoever we talked to, you know how many people message me saying, hey, is The Rock drunk right now?
Well,
A little too much Terramana, babe.
There was a little story.
A little too much Terramana, babe.
There was a little story about something at NXT.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to do that rumor bullshit.
I'm not. It's not rumor bullshit, but I'm saying like it read as fun and really meta and like really nonsensical and like flipping the table on Cody, saying basically being like, you were in the position that I was in. I was the corporate champion. I want you to be my corporate champion.
I got what they were doing at the end.
Right, for sure.
At the end, it like made sense. But I think because that man is coming out there doing 3 different characters. It's the faces of Dwayne. You know, he comes out as the board of directors, Dwayne. The 3 faces of Dwayne. There's The Rock, right? There's Dwayne, the board of directors Rock, and then there's also the movie star.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a weird mismatch, and I don't know. He has whatever he has in his mind, happening. It did execute at the end when he said, you know what was funny? We're watching this, right? And I was watching it with Jess and the kids. And Jess goes, what did he say? What does he want? I said, his soul.
His whole.
His soul. He wants his soul.
Yeah.
And he's like, she goes, actually, that was a good delivery.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was a really good delivery because it's leading into what will Cody decide? Will he become the corporate? It's exactly right out of 1998.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. It's good stuff.
I think a little exclamation point was Cody on Raw with that Seth Rollins promo. That back and forth was friggin' fantastic. If your boss touched you like that, wouldn't you call HR?
Oh, 100%.
It's just like a little slyly on the cheek.
Yeah.
Listen,
one of these.
Doing an Italian American on you.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to jump into the news, and then we're gonna have to talk a lot about Elimination Chamber today, just because it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Beautiful Saturday pay-per-view.
Yeah. In Toronto, big building, big stadium.
A lot of our folks are there. Big shout out to everybody who's out there. Fox denies involvement in a rumored new Vince McMahon wrestling promotion. On the 83 Weeks podcast with Conrad, he said he heard Vince was reaching out to experienced cameramen and producers, and mentioned Fox as a partner. Fox denied all involvement.
That I do not believe Vince is starting a wrestling promotion. I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's allowed to start a wrestling promotion. I really don't know. I would imagine that if I'm TKO and I'm purchasing this company, I'm most likely going to have a non-compete for a long period of time. It's the same with like Triple H. If Triple H were to leave, the odds of him being able to start a wrestling promotion within the first year or two is impossible. I do not believe Vince is looking to get into the wrestling business. You know, it would be just like to think about it. It would be interesting. What would happen? You know, like that would break the timeline of professional wrestling.
I think it would be fascinating to see who's a Vince loyalist. Now, if you're...
I think they all are. They all are.
You think so?
Dude, even with everything, I would say more than half.
More than half of the roster is a Vince loyalist.
More than half.
Men and women.
Men and women.
I think, listen, like this is a nutty thing to think about if this guy starts another wrestling company. But I will say this, my inference is it will have something to do with men and bodies. Doesn't have to be wrestling. It could be.
You know, what would a new Vince McMahon wrestling company in 2026, 2027 look like?
45 Mason Ryans.
Literally, you took it right out of my fucking mouth.
45 Mason Ryans.
I'm not even kidding you. We just had a telepathic conversation. I was literally gonna say they're all Mason Ryans.
They're all Mason Ryans. Just big dudes, big handsome guys.
I think
and Brock Lesnar.
I think it becomes. I would expect like guys like Undertaker
and all the blonde women. And that's
Undertaker and like those guys. Like I think it would become. You would have some of those old timers, and the rest of those guys would become like models.
Yes,
it would just be the most beautiful people ever, and then like a couple uggos,
bodybuildings,
and like a couple big like Yokozunas.
He does like his big boys sometimes, you know, like an.
Can I just say something that I just realized?
Is it wrestling related?
Is it wrestling related?
Well, it's related to this conversation.
Okay,
go ahead.
Both my baby cousins. One's name is Ryan. The other's name is Mason.
That is
interesting.
That is a great stoned thought at 10:48 in the morning. You know what? You get a reggae horn for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what it would look like. I don't know if you would want to go into that venture. I know that he's starting some sort of media company.
It's just called Men.
That's it.
Maybe that's.
I
what it
want
is.
you to show me your butt.
We're living in an insane timeline right now. Regardless, would you be shocked if all of a sudden you wake up on Monday morning and the headline and the Wall Street Journal is Vince McMahon starts a new company called Men?
I would not. I would expect that for sure. But here's the story. He's not starting a wrestling company. I don't think he can. I find I don't.
You're flabbergasted.
I am because I am and I'm not because like if I'm, in his mind, I'm sure he's like I want to fuck these people. I want to wrestle. I want to wrestle. But I mean, what would it be? Who would he partner with? He's 80 years old.
Yeah.
This man is not the same Vince. His name is very much muddied in media. I cannot see this happening. I think this was a lot of hearsay happening in wrestling and people speculating what Vince would do. The old Vince would do.
The old Vince.
I mean, this old Vince does a lot of bad stuff too. So I don't know.
Like older Vince.
Like, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's just going to be called Men.
Men. Tico,
It's going to be called Slime.
butts.
It's just going for it. He doubles
Beautiful. Utilized.
down. Utilized. All right.
TKO earnings call. Of course, note on the WWE side of the fence, TKO executive Mark Shapiro said on the Q&A portion of the call that WWE Peacock deal is up March 2026. I can't see them staying on Peacock.
Okay.
I can't. I really, you want to have everything uniformed.
So straight up, just move everything to Netflix.
I think they're going to have to, because think about it. The logistics of having two different streaming partners in different regions, it makes no sense.
It's interesting because this makes me, it harkens back to like how perfect at one point the WWE network was. I loved it. That was one of my favorite $10 a month to spend on a streaming service.
The original WWE network really was something that we had all wanted for our entire lives as wrestling fans. There was never an archivable source for everything that had happened. And for a couple of years, it was perfect until they went to Peacock. And then it kind of went to shit. The Peacock interface sucked.
Yeah, the Peacock interface sucked. But that at one point when they got all the kinks out, that WWE network was picture perfect. I can't tell you. We would spend so much time just watching WWE Network.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I watched everything. I watched all the WCWs. I watched all the Raws at that time. I went through everything.
So you think they should be all on Netflix?
I think they should all be on Netflix.
Mike Shapiro also said that Raw is up 13% in viewership on Netflix from USA last year, and that the CW is seeing a great uplift.
That is true.
From NXT, which is wild.
NXT's become a really hot commodity for them because it's appealing to the attempt is to appeal to a younger, more pop culture friendly audience. And that's, by the way, that is something that no wrestling promotion has really done. Yeah. They've always been counterculture. They've always been like alternative,
little fringe,
something.
Little fringe.
It's always been a little fringe. It always was. It always is. But now it's integrated so much in pop culture. When Jey Uso's coming out with Travis Scott,
oh, forget it.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Yeah.
Not to the 40, 50-year-olds that are still watching wrestling because they have no idea who Travis Scott is. But you know what? I'm 40. I know who he is.
You got KSI. You got Speed. You
got Speed. You got KSI. You got Logan Paul.
Lil Wayne showed up not too long ago.
He's a fascinating
I do
little
love
man.
I love Lil Wayne.
He's a fascinating little man.
Yeah.
You know his Uncle Bob?
Oh, yeah.
That saved his life.
It's
Uncle
wild.
Bob.
Wild.
The Rock came out to Lil Wayne.
He did, but I think that was only because they were in
New Orleans.
They were
New Orleans.
They were in
New Orleans.
No, I hate CW.
See, he has an agenda.
Of course.
It's a personal agenda.
A contrarian agenda against the CW.
No.
I know why.
He has a reason.
I know why he hates it.
They wronged him.
Boycott it.
This isn't the time or the place, Jonathan. First you said that thing you said at the top of the show, and now you're like, down with the CW.
He's like, I'm gonna bomb everybody.
Great.
I was like, no, you
Thanks,
can't
Jonathan.
say that.
No.
Can't say that, dude. TKO financial chief officer said that they expect Saudi Arabia to host 3 PLEs in 2026 and 1 in 2025 because they're doing 3 over there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of the Royal Rumble being there? Are they going to do an American Royal Rumble?
My gut says that stinks. You know, like I
yeah,
feel
me
like
too. It stinks.
That's
I don't know why,
It's like
but
having
it
the
stinks.
World Series in England.
It's like having the World
You
Series
know,
in England.
you're
I get
like,
it,
what
and
the
you know what?
fuck?
That could happen.
It's the World Series.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
like the Royal. I feel like the Royal Rumble. That's, you know what? It's a slippery slope, but I feel like, listen, nobody's a fan of the Saudi deal. It's just weird. It reeks of, you know, like the nasty stuff that comes with it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like, do you think it being there will mar the event? And do you think
it doesn't even matter anymore?
Do you think it being there, they will be like, we want so-and-so to win? You think they'll call the shots?
I don't think so, but I don't think it matters to most anymore.
Okay.
None of this matters to most.
Yeah.
How
do you feel?
I have my reservations about the entire thing.
Right.
You know,
that's a good word.
The country that financed 9/11.
Exactly.
And taking an American product like the WWE, something that's all America all the time. You know, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
When Hulk Hogan's coming out there waving the flag, or
that's wild.
You know, or you know, you hear Kurt Angle's music play.
Well, he can't chill his beer.
I'm like, listen, I could, you know, and it's not the people. I'm not talking about the people in that country, but I am saying their leadership, that one family did fund, you know, one of the greatest awful tragedies in American history.
Well, yeah, and
so
amongst other things,
you know, maybe that's my New York bias of living through it, but I don't know. It to me, but this is where the entire landscape of sports is headed. The sovereign funds of these countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Dubai, you know, the UAE, they have an infinite amount of money, and they are in the process of doing a major public relations image change.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's a lot of American companies doing this PR for them. You know, there's no such thing as values anymore when it comes to somebody handing you $100 million a year for one event or 2 events. Of course you're going to take it, and they're all going to take it. And guess what? I would not be surprised. NASCAR and everything, you know, the Super Bowl eventually is in Saudi Arabia, and they're doing football games there.
Insane.
I'm telling you, this is where the whole thing is headed. And
it's a money talk situation.
It's a money talk situation. That's the world that we're in. And, you know, my opinion doesn't even fucking matter.
Now, do you think that this business move would have happened if Vince wasn't in charge? Let's say whatever happened years ago, and it was the WWE that we have now.
Well, you know, Vince is the one that did that Saudi deal.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's
very telling.
It is so telling of where we are.
Right.
Like, that is so telling. And listen, you do what you're gonna do. You know, if I'm running a company and they came to me with a big offer like that, you know, I may sell my soul.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's a good thread for this episode. That's the common thread. It's the boy's soul.
That is the topic of the day. So they're going there. You know, I expect a WrestleMania there. Royal Rumble. This is the world that we're in. And you know what? It doesn't matter to most, and that's what matters at the end. Doesn't matter to most? No. Okay.
Well, yeah. We have we can unpack this on several episodes.
So many episodes. TKO announces a takeover in Kansas City. This is the first one that they've done with a non-pay-per-view. This is interesting. You're going to have WWE, UFC, and PBR. For people who don't know what PBR is, it is the Professional Bull Riders company.
Not the beer.
Not the beer. The lineup includes PBR on Thursday, April 24th, followed by UFC Fight Night on Saturday and Monday Night Raw on the 28th. You notice no pay-per-views.
No pay-per-views.
And they were paid to do this. So they figured out, hey, there's another revenue source. We have all the success selling to the municipalities, the bidding of getting major pay-per-views. Why don't we also run small shows with all 3 of us?
Why not?
Corporate synergy.
Yeah. I'd mess with a bull riding / UFC / WWE
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Get like 1 hour of each.
PBR is great.
Yeah.
But it is awesome. Mike went to PBR when they were at the
Really?
Garden. He said it was a blast. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, listen, I'm down with anything.
Yeah. Stephanie McMahon is launching an official WWE podcast. It would be the first new podcast in WWE in several years.
Wow.
Remember when they called me about that? Years ago?
Vaguely.
Years ago, they wanted to start a podcast thing. The company previously produced WWE After the Bell, hosted by Corey Graves, The New Day, Feel the Power, and Uncool with Alexa Bliss. I am curious what Stephanie's podcast is going to be like. You know what I really want her to talk about?
Show me your food.
Aliens.
No, I want Stephanie to talk about her, like, the early years. Like, I want to know what it was like growing
It
up.
sounds like that's what it might be.
A
It might be
McMahon.
something like that.
I don't want to know anything about, like, I don't want to know about her thoughts on current day WWE. I don't want her interviewing wrestlers. I don't want her
I kind of
interviewing
do.
any of that.
I kind of want interviewing wrestlers. I want to see that.
I want her to talk about what it was like growing up in Greenwich, Connecticut,
Andre the Giant.
and like all these wrestlers are coming to your house.
Imagine you're a
Hanging
child.
out at your pool.
Imagine
Yeah.
you're a child and it's
Yeah.
Saturday morning and you wake up and all you hear is
Yeah.
and it's Andre the Giant in the kitchen eating a sandwich and laughing at your dad.
We have that in our house. We have Coco comes. They think it's that's our
That's Andre the Giant. That's your kid's Andre
that's
the
our
Giant.
King Kong Bundy.
That's the
It's
queen.
King Kong Bundy. That's
That's
ours.
funny.
I'm curious about this. I want to see. She is a very impressive person, Stephanie.
She's great. Yeah,
If you have ever met Stephanie, and I'm sure there are people that listen to this podcast that know her.
Yeah.
She is an extremely impressive human being.
Absolutely.
Just total, just charisma.
Oh yeah, a lot of heart.
Like you see her, and sometimes you meet someone and you're like, ugh.
Very warm.
Like very warm,
Yeah,
very
very
warm,
warm.
not cold, very warm. She started screaming at me.
Yeah.
My ECW sign is falling apart.
She started screaming ECW at
She
you.
started screaming. No, she yelled at me. Remember, she's like, I was like, dude, I grew up here, in the Garden. He's like, not as much as me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Steph, you beat me.
You beat me.
You beat me. Layla Hirsch is not expected to sign with AEW. Contract expires on Friday. She has not wrestled since Final Battle.
I liked her. That sucks.
Yeah, she could go to NXT, do something.
I think Layla Hirsch and NXT fantastic.
Let's fix this.
Are you gonna break it over your head?
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Hardcore. What's in that? That's not like. That's just.
It's LED.
LED, right?
It's LED, but
Okay.
it's not plugged in.
It's not an actual neon thing.
She's
where if you
probably
break
going
it
to-
over
No,
your head, it's like-
No.
Gassed up.
Monday Night Rock returned to SmackDown. Was the best rating since September. It averaged 1.73 million viewers. It was up 22% over the previous week. And it had the best audience total for the show since the start on USA. The big story coming out of this is The Rock is tempting Cody to join his corporate ministry.
I would love it if he started making a group of guys.
But I want it to be like the corporate ministry. I want it to be like just like the suit and ties and then just a bunch of like Aleister Blacks.
You know what I would love?
He's coming back, by the way. Very like
can't
I
wait.
expect him. If he possibly Elimination Chamber, possibly Raw, possibly Smack. He's like imminent.
I was thinking about this morning. I have not looked forward to Elimination Chamber this much in a very long time.
Yo, it's a big one.
It's a big one. It's huge.
It's think about who's in it. You know,
Well, we're
gonna get into
it later.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Let's see. New WWE Tag Team Champion, Women's Tag Team Champions crowned on Raw. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez
Great.
won the title. I think this was good, and this is going into the Jade storyline.
Who did Rikishi?
Who did the Rikishi?
Yeah. Who
I did
that
it. I
Rikishi?
did it for The Rock. NXT recap: the Hardys won their match against No Quarter
Great.
Catch Crew, setting up a match with Faxium for their titles. Julia challenged Stephanie Vaquer to a title versus title match. Big deal.
Great.
Opa Femi challenged Moose at Roadblock. The ham
So
match.
real
Big
quick-
boys.
Big boy, man.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The rumor is Julia is injured and she might be dropping
Oh
the title.
no,
Oh no.
that's terrible.
So, yeah, I forgot to put that on there. But
That's
yeah.
upsetting.
Mm.
WWE SmackDown lineup for
least-
tonight. You have the United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura defending against LA Knight. Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green in action. And Trish Stratus will be appearing.
Fantastic.
Elimination Chamber. Show starts at 7 p.m. Early start to the show.
Thank God.
So that pre-show starts at 5.
Mhm.
You got the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, Roxanne Perez.
Who takes it?
What if it's Bianca Belair?
I am going to say Alexa Bliss.
Okay. Men's Elimination Chamber. CM Punk, John Cena. I don't know where I was going with that. John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins. Who wins this match?
I'm going to say Shenanigans, and one of these guys doesn't make it to the chamber, and John Cena wins.
Cena wins. Trish Stratus.
Who do you think?
I think it has to be Cena. But
They did a nice video package for him saying he's going for 17, which is the first time that he's ever said that on camera.
like big wise, yeah.
Right.
You know what? If there was anybody to beat that record in WWE's eyes, it should be John.
Yeah.
So question.
Yeah.
Does Roman Reigns show up and cost Punk and Seth Rollins?
I don't know, but you know that Logan interaction with Punk also is something,
Right.
Right.
you know, so that's a thing also. I don't know. We'll see. I'm very interested in this. This is, I mean, you know what I'm really interested to see? Damian and Punk.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You know, like I'm very tickled by this match, and this is the first time in a long time, like you said, that I'm excited for this match because normally you know where it's going, even though I know where it's going.
Right.
Just the people in this to see them work, very interesting to me. I have not seen one like this in many, many years. That everybody in
This
that match,
one match.
that
This one
is-
match is going to set up. It's going to set up like 4 Mania matches. So that's
Yes, it is.
intriguing.
Yes. Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jackson, Candice LeRae.
Great.
Unsanctioned match. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Very hyped.
They are going to blow the roof off that. No, there is no roof.
Again.
Is there a roof? There is a roof.
There's a
There
roof.
is a roof.
Again, they put together a classic video package.
Oh,
which I
man.
like that they're doing.
That was great. And
Yeah.
how many times have we in our lifetime seen these two wrestle?
Can't get enough.
Is there any other combination of a marriage in wrestling like this that we have seen happen so many times in 20 years?
Cena Orton.
Cena Orton is one of those.
Okada
Yeah.
Tanahashi.
Yeah, but that was their, remember,
Yeah.
he left. Like, as far as, these two are married from the
Yeah.
beginning of their
Yeah.
career all the way to now, which is, near the end. You know, they're approaching that last couple years, the last run of their career.
We
Maybe
got
another one.
Yeah, we got a nice few years of Sean and Brett.
Sean and Brett was one.
But very,
I mean,
when you think
for
about
20
it,
years,
yeah.
for 20 years, these guys have wrestled. Flair and Sting.
Rock and Austin, but again, a very limited time
Yeah,
when
you
got
got
to
to go back into the 70s
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, well, Rock and Austin, only a couple years.
Yeah, only a couple years.
Cena Orton, probably 10 years. Flair Sting, 88 to 2001. Okay. You could that's a while.
Yeah.
But these guys have been married for 20 years. I cannot think of any other
Funk and Flair.
Funk and Flair.
Yeah.
Me and
Not
NJ.
like this.
Steamboat and
This may
Flair,
be
right?
Steamboat
an
Flair, yeah.
anomaly.
Yeah.
This may be a real anomaly because what are the odds as people that had started wrestling at teenagehood
Mhm.
together are still wrestling each other together
Yeah.
all the time, and they've been in major feuds. And you know what, Edge and Christian,
Edge and Christian, sure.
that's one. That's one. I'm very interested to see this match.
and they're nowhere near retiring age either.
They got another,
Say another 10.
God willing, another decade.
Another 10, right?
God willing, I hope. I want to see them do
30s, early 40s. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that sit down interview with Sammy,
so good.
fantastic.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
fantastic. Cody Rhodes to answer The Rock's question of will he sell his soul?
Now, if he sells his soul to Rock, I think it's going to be at Mania, and he turns heel on Cena. And Cena,
They do the Austin heel turn.
and Cena loses.
You know what? Doesn't this make sense? That was the turn on The Rock, right?
Yeah.
When Austin turned on The Rock, he goes, "Why'd you do it, you son of a bitch?"
But it makes sense because how do you keep that story strong, right? How do you keep Cody having the belt make sense? Turn him heel, have him beat Cena, the biggest babyface of all time.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then Cena's just like, well, that's it. That's it for me. And then he fights Gunther and gets 17
Great.
off of Gunther
Great.
or Jey Uso or whatever.
Whatever. All right, where do you want to go? Let's go into Collision. I'm sorry. Let's go into Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah. Let's go into Dynamite.
Dynamite.
All right. Do you want to go into it?
Cope interrupts the opening as we see him in the back of an ambulance. He warns the Death Riders that this would be their ride out of the arena.
Is it time to end this feud?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It's just, I want to...
It was missing something.
Yes, I want to love it, and I do love it on a certain level. I love it as a fan, but there's also a part of me that's like, yeah, they missed something. They missed a little thing that I'm not 100% into it.
Yeah, me too.
But I am 100% into Hangman versus MJF.
Oh, yeah, me too. Big
Right?
time.
MJF is shown getting his AEW tattoo removed, that he was the biggest mistake of his life. Fans don't appreciate him. Hangman comes to the ring to defeat Aaron Solo. I'm really enjoying what they're doing.
You saw that message during this that was happening. You saw that message I posted in the group chat? That one day I'll tell that story.
Oh, yeah. Very excited.
Yeah. One day when I write that book.
That book. Andrew's Wrestling Memories.
Andrew's Wrestling Memories.
Andrew's Wrestling Memories. Will Ospreay defeated Brian Keith in a bounty match. Good showing for Keith.
This went... Okay, here's my question to you.
Yeah.
Should this have been that 50-50? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're freaking out. You're traveling
no.
time.
Oh, no, I'm traveling time. All right. Should it have been 50-50?
Sure, why not? I think give it a little showcase to Brian Keith, because Brian Keith hasn't really been showcased very much.
It is?
Yes. You're still a little shaky, but it looks like you're back.
Oh, no. All right, I got to turn it on and off. All right, keep talking.
Anyway. MG, how do you feel about this? How did you feel about that?
Which one? Sorry, I was dealing with other stuff.
Sorry, you're not paying attention. Great. Was this a good showcase for Brian Keith?
I like Brian Keith in this role. It's one of those characters that just works.
Mm-hmm.
No, listen,
You know,
I thought it was.
Didn't answer the question.
He didn't even answer. He doesn't even know
not
what
paying
he's
attention.
answering.
He's producing the show, not paying attention.
It's
Didn't answer the
unbelievable.
question.
I love the Brian Keith gimmick. I think it's great. I'm into him. But should he be going 50-50 with Will Ospreay? Compare this to what they did on Raw
Right.
with Tozawa and Gunther, right?
Sure.
That went like it was mostly Gunther,
Yeah.
but like that small 20% that was Tozawa was incredible.
Yes.
Was incredible. This went 50-50 with arguably the best wrestler in the world,
Yeah.
Will Ospreay. I thought it was a great match. If I'm going to nitpick anything, I would say that it should have been a little bit more one-sided towards Will.
Yeah. It was an interesting long reach for Ospreay to get out of the ring to the stands to meet Kyle Fletcher coming down from the top of the arena. But I love seeing stuff like that. Mercedes Moné got confronted by Billy Starks, and Momo Watanabe chased her with the bat. I think Momo's going to take that belt off her.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good introduction to the character. I believe she is a heel in Japan.
I mean, but Mercedes should be in the world title position
I agree
at
with
this
you,
point, you know?
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. Where else?
There we go. The Outrunners, your favorites, defeated the Murder Machines. Now the Outrunners get a title shot against the Hurt Syndicate. I say this every week.
Yeah.
Put all the belts on Lashley and Shelton.
They are so impressive. They're great. I think AEW booked their tag division very oddly.
Yeah.
I think my argument here is that Private Party should not have gotten the title.
Right.
The Outrunner should have beat the Bucks, won that title, had a huge babyface moment, and they could have dropped it to one of those tag teams and then had Lashley and Benjamin destroy whoever it was.
Yeah.
I think they did a little backwards. I don't know. Maybe they have some other plan that I don't know about, but I don't want to see the Outrunners lose, but I also don't think Hurt Syndicate should lose to the Outrunners.
I think the Hurt Syndicate should hold on to those belts for quite some time.
They're so impressive, dude.
They are very impressive.
Yeah.
Again, I want them to have all the belts. TNT titles,
All
Trios titles.
All of them.
I want them to hold the Trios title.
They could do that. Well, you know,
Just them two.
well, Kingdom, right? Kingdom's back, so they could do the trios with them. We'll see. Swerve Strickland, Prince Nana address Ricochet. Did you feel that Nana may turn on Swerve?
I've been feeling that for like the last 6 months, but I feel like he's also the good voice of reason, and Swerve never listens to him.
Because he's like, if you don't get me my jacket, I can't be with you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Swerve, I'd be like, I don't give a shit about your jacket, dude. I'm going for a world title. Like, this guy's annoying me. He's in my way. We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
You had Undisputed Kingdom defeating TNT, Daniel Garcia, and FTR. That was fun.
All right.
I like them as the Undisputed Kingdom. I feel like Adam Cole needs better booking, and these guys need better booking overall.
Yeah.
I also feel like I would also rather see them with Bobby Fish, but who knows what happened there.
Yeah, that did not go well.
Is he in TNA?
He shaved his head.
It's an MLW, isn't
He's
it?
in MLW. Yeah, he's
okay.
unrecognizable. You can't.
Okay.
You don't even know who he is.
Yeah, wild. Cope attacks Claudio backstage and drags him to the ring to take him out as promised. Wheeler and Marina would come out to help. This was an interesting and long segment, which ends with Willow giving a concerto to Marina. So I guess Willow's with Edge now?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Cope now?
Yeah. So it's going to be Marina and Willow in something.
Okay, cool. And then Claudio got the concerto also. Harley Cameron defeated Deanna Purrazzo.
Deandra Pazuzia. She just followed me on X.
Yeah. Nice. You sure it's her?
Diane Puglisi.
You sure it's her?
Oh, it's definitely her.
You're not going to get a DM that says, "Dear fan, I need help."
I need help. Send me money. No, it's her. You know what? For years we've been talking. When she was like training,
Yeah.
we were talking about
Oh,
her.
yeah.
I always thought that she has a great look, but that could be my New York Northeast bias.
Good look, good ability.
I like a brunette Italian.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's my bias.
doesn't?
I think she's incredible.
She's great.
I would like to see her do something else,
Yeah.
something a little bit more. Harley Cameron beat her with a finish.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a roll up, so that's the first time she used the finisher.
Harley's moving on up.
Moving on up.
And Takeshita beat Orange Cassidy to retain the AEW International title.
This was a great main event.
It was a fantastic
Oh
main event.
man, Orange Cat. When is the last time he had a bad match?
It's true. Is Orange Cassidy low-key their ace?
That's Hunter's favorite guy.
Yeah.
Him and Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
We love Danhausen.
Are they the two most kid-friendly guys
That
on
they
the
have?
roster?
And maybe
Eddie Kingston?
Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Do you know Eddie Kingston posted a picture of Bruiser fucking Brody?
Yeah.
And people started reposting it as if like, oh my God, look how jacked Eddie got. Look at Eddie. Look at Eddie.
Amazing.
And I'm like, do you honestly, like, I could not believe that everybody thought that's Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Did you see that photo?
No, I understand what the internet does, and I believe it.
I'm like, did these people gaslight themselves into believing that this is Eddie Kingston? He's had a real difficult time coming back.
No.
He's had a real hard time. This guy killed himself for years. Dude.
Yeah.
He really killed himself for years wrestling. He's 20-something years.
I thought you said he's 27 years old.
Eddie Kingston is 27 years old. Can you believe that?
No, I want that guy to come back stronger and healthier.
Oh, me
than
too.
ever.
Love him. Love him. AEW Collision. This is going to be a very difficult show to go up against Elimination Chamber. But Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole for the TNT title. Roderick Strong. That's a great match. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly versus FTR. Another great match.
That's going to be good.
And you're going to hear from Kenny Omega.
Awesome.
AEW Revolution card. By the way, we got 20 minutes. So get your questions ready and submit them in the chat so MG could pull them up on the screen. You got the AEW World Championship on the line. John Moxley versus Cope.
I think it's Cope's time.
We'll see. I'm curious.
This is a week from tomorrow, right?
This show is very important.
Yeah.
Because this is leading everything into what they're going to do leading into All In.
Yeah.
It's a week from Sunday.
It's a week from Sunday.
Week
Yeah.
from Sunday. Okay.
Mm.
So the 9th.
Yeah. It's a Sunday pay-per-view?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
it is.
I totally forgot. Steel cage match, Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher.
Great.
AEW International Championship on the line. Takeshita versus Kenny Omega.
Kenny takes the win.
Kenny should take the win. MJF versus Hangman Page. Hangman should take the win.
You kind of want to see Hangman destroy MJF.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah. AEW TBS champion Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe. You know, I asked Jess, I showed a picture of Momo, and I said, give me the most ridiculous name you could think of.
Yeah.
And she said, Janet Carroll.
It's pretty good.
And I said, you know what? If I saw that woman and she introduced herself as Janet Carroll to me, I would definitely think it's ridiculous. But no, it's Momo Watanabe.
Yeah. Janet Carroll. That's funny.
AEW Women's Championship. This is a Hollywood ending. Toni Storm versus Mariah May. This is a good moment for what I would say is Momo should beat Mercedes.
Yes.
And Mercedes should cost Tony the title.
Yes.
Winner to become number one contender for the AEW title, you got Swerve versus Ricochet. Get your questions ready in the chat room, and Rich and I will try to answer them. Maybe not, maybe so. We will try.
Maybe we can't.
Can't talk about it.
Cadillac Carson says, is Mattman getting bought out by Saudi Arabia? Is that what you're saying to us?
If the Saudis offered us money, they're like, listen, we need podcasts here. Sell your soul. I would probably take it. How much? But only if I could dress like a sheik.
Yeah.
Like, can I dress like a sheik?
Do you think you could survive without a martini?
No, you could drink in Saudi Arabia.
Are you sure? I thought it was dry.
I think they have some. No, Dubai you could drink.
No.
I think you
both
could,
are dry.
No. I think you could drink in the resorts.
In the car while you're driving?
Yeah, while you're driving.
No.
You could,
It's the only way.
I don't know. What is the drinking? Can you drink in Saudi?
I feel like it's a dry country.
No, it is illegal to drink in Saudi Arabia, including manufacture, sell, or possess. Yeah, there is no alcohol.
Yeah. So after day 3, you're going to be like, could somebody get me a dirty martini? And they'll be like, Mr. Zarian, you've sold us your soul.
It used to be legal up until 1952, until the Saudis.
One guy ruined it.
One guy ruined it, dude. One guy ruined it.
One guy ruined it.
Yeah. So no alcohol.
Everything pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Does Stephanie McMahon work for WWE? I'm confused on the relationship between her and the company at this point.
I believe she does. If she's doing a WWE podcast, she would have to.
She's also has that show she's doing with $7 with Peyton Manning's company.
Yeah.
So I think she's getting income from other places. It's not exclusive to just a WWE.
Yeah. Mason 346. Thoughts on the state of AEW's TV production? Feels like at this point they should be above some of the production botches they have weekly.
Yo, last week I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not a big fan of this, but sometimes when you have a real asshole of a boss, that you fear, you don't make those mistakes.
Right.
So, they caught Chris Daniels, trying to get a little bit more juice coming out. That was
Hogan style.
That's what Bret Hart was trying to do.
He's trying to gig.
Also, the Thunder Rosa botch on
the
Collision.
Thunder Rosa botch because they didn't get the. But you know what that was? That was miscommunication. I feel like that somebody told her to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And the other two maybe were not told what was going on. I don't know. I think some of those are very preventable. Right. Other times it happens, but
it's live television.
It's live television. But again, when you have that fear of messing up, and I'm not saying, I don't blame Thunder Rosa for this. I if you're like a producer, an agent, and you tell one person, I'm just assuming this, or I'm just throwing this as a scenario. You tell one person to go out there, and the other two have no idea what's happening, and they're not a 20-year veteran.
Right.
They're not a 15-year veteran. It'll happen. I don't know. I don't. Shit happens. It's live, but you have to make an active effort to tighten that up when you see that happens. You have to now instill it in everybody. Guys, what are we? I know accidents happen, but we can't have this happen again.
Right. I think also from my perspective, I would like to see a little variance in the shots they use and the shot selections that they use. Yeah. But that's just me. That's my personal
I also think that they also battle shooting the buildings.
Yeah.
That's also part of it. They shoot it in a very specific way to kind of make it look as big as possible with a smaller audience.
I thought they shot the shit out of the Hammerstein shows.
That was incredible. Yeah. But how can you not be able to shoot that building?
It's a perfect building for pro wrestling.
I also don't think it's as pretty as it used to be.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect building for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I love seeing wrestling there. Let's see here. Well, this is from Kuro Midoriku. Which wrestler should be the next pope? D'Angelo De Niro.
Dwayne.
Papa Dwayne.
Taker.
Undertaker.
Are we? This is from Large 23. Are we getting more AEW library tomorrow on Max?
Be with you. That's his line.
Well, they do ring the bell whenever they get a new pope. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting what they released, what was coming out, right? I think we're getting like all the pay-per-view archives.
Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is on there already, which is fun.
I was told of a very interesting possible special that AEW will be doing.
Mhm.
And I asked about this, and I'm waiting to get some more info on it because what was said to me seemed kind of bonkers.
Okay.
So, not bonkers in a bad way, just like very interesting. Oh, look who's here. Pull this up on the screen, MG.
Oh, Fight Me Zarian, NYC Demon Diva, Issa, she's back.
I can't wait. You know what I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Wet Willie.
Like this, like both fingers?
Both fingers right in the ear. And then I'm going to pick her up, Her feet are going to dangle.
Is that your finisher?
That's my finisher. Yeah. I just touch
This
your
is
brain.
the greatest ongoing feud in wrestling.
I do.
That is
We
the
all
biggest
know it,
feud.
right?
And you know what? I love her so much.
Oh, she's the best.
She's such a fucking wild card in all of the wrestling media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because she's my people, you know?
Yeah.
My people.
I don't know what that.
Oh, I'm salsa.
The man with the
I'm
stiffest,
salsa.
the stiffest hips on the planet.
Dude, they're mechanical. They're mechanical hips.
I want to see Issa Northern Light suplex.
She's probably good. You see how jacked she is? She's at the gym all the time.
I would love that. Let's see what we got here. From AU, will the Death Rider storyline be worth it when Kingston beats Mox for the title and saves the company? Yes. You know what? Yeah, that's what I want. I want Kingston to just show up.
You know what? Let's fantasy book, right? People are sick of this. He comes out, destroys Moxley, wins the title. Are people thrilled?
I'd be thrilled.
Okay.
I'd be thrilled. I think if anybody deserves it for just being themselves, it's Eddie Kingston. Brian Knight, corporate Matmen, you two are going to start wearing suits and ties. Yeah.
I would love that. We did for a long time. I was dressed up like a sleazy nightclub promoter. Remember?
Well, that's summertime.
Summer Andrew. What are we doing? We had a Hot Boy summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we have that?
This is the butt summer.
What is this one? You said it.
This is 90s R&B summer. This is Big Butt Summer.
Oh yeah, this is Big Butt Summer. Yeah, this is. By the way, this is Big Butt Summer. We're going 90s R&B the whole summer.
What was the group with Luke?
Oh, Two Live Crew?
Two Live Crew, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
have a Two Live Crew summer.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Can we do that?
That's lit.
Yeah.
I'm there.
We'll do a Two Live Crew summer. It's gonna be nasty. You gotta get a pool.
Oh yeah.
We gotta get a lot of ladies out there.
At night, I think of you.
I think me and you can dig a pool in your backyard in at least a day or two.
Oh, 100% we could do it. Yeah. We could definitely dig a pool.
But we gotta dress like construction workers when we do it. Like
perfect
short shorts.
Yeah, like real short shorts. Belly shirt.
Belly shirt.
Yeah.
Jackhammering. Kim Gray.
I can break out my boots again with.
There's some super
out.
chats, Rich.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got some super
MG in Daisy Dukes.
There we go.
Digging a hole.
Well, first it's MG dressed as Lita. So our Hardy Boys.
Still waiting for that.
Our Matt and Jeff. I'm still waiting. I've been waiting for years for that. That high thong.
We will. You know what?
I mean,
we're gonna do
a
this,
high thong
okay?
anyway.
This is what we're gonna do. I would like to do a live watch along.
Yes.
And if we make $1,200 on that live watch along, MG will dress up like Lita.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
1,200. That's the number.
1,200.
What pay-per-view?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Fantastic. Let's see. We got some super chats here. What would be considered a success for AEW All-In ticket sales? Is there a target? Do you think AEW is shooting?
What are they? Let's go to WrestleTix for a second.
Sure.
It's not moving aggressively yet.
Yeah.
Where is his Patreon? Because
okay.
I pay his. I'm part of his Patreon.
Nice.
I pay for it. I pay for stuff that I use.
You're a patron.
I also pay for the Observer. I've never gotten it for free.
Even though you're on the Observer.
Even though I am on the Observer, I pay for the Observer.
But
I also pay for Fightful.
That's like force of habit, though. Like
I have to pay for it. Do you know they've asked? They've asked, and I told Tony, leader, I'm like, no. I want to pay.
Yeah.
I've been paying for 20 years. Okay, let's see. All in. Texas All In numbers. It is currently set up for 18,000. 11,000 tickets have moved. Over the last week, about 114. There's 139 days for the show. Listen, this is definitely gonna. I think they'll do 18. I think they'll get there. But would that be considered a success?
Where in Texas is the show?
Is that what building are they in?
Arlington. It's in the
it's in
the baseball stadium. Texas Rangers.
They're in Arlington. Okay.
Baseball stadium. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. Oh, you know what we could do when we're digging the hole in our Daisy Dukes? Issa could be like the foreman with like the megaphone just yelling at us.
And time to punch out, boys. And then we start dancing.
Yeah, and we said, "Want to see me do my little dance?"
It'll be like the scene in that Simpsons episode.
Oh, when they went. Oh, when he took him to the when he thought Bart was hanging out with the gay guy a little too much, and he took him to the steel mill to watch like what real men work. He goes, "Okay, boys, time to clock out. We work hard, we play hard."
The best.
That is really one of those Simpsons that lives in my head.
100%. That and also with the construction stuff, the Big Vito from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Kicking it to Meadows' boyfriend.
So
hysterical. Paul Anthony Moss asks, Gabe Kidd's disappearance, Clark Connors announcing a return, is a New Japan invasion angle brewing for Forbidden Door. Time for Shane O'Mac?
Oh, that is real. You know what? If there was ever a moment for Shane to show up, it should be at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
With all the New Japan guys.
That would be ridiculous. I'd love that so much for some reason.
I would too.
Even like extra New Japan guys like Naito.
Yeah. He just shows up with all of them.
But he shows up and just like points to the ring and they all run out.
Gabe Kidd, by the way, he's impressive.
No, he's great.
He's got something.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
Yeah.
Mod Revolve, I think Swerve is taking the title at Dynasty.
I don't know.
I think he'll definitely get the belt this year again.
I don't know. There's so much going on. I mean, the real story is why isn't Kenny Omega the world champion? Why isn't Okada the world champion?
Right. Why not? Why?
Why isn't Hangman the world champion?
Tell me why.
There's so many people.
Yeah.
There's so many people. I think what they need to do, honestly, what they need to do is figure out, tell me your top 5. Like your top 5 world title contenders. Tell me, who are they?
Yeah. Put them in a program.
Okay. Who are these people? You got Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cope now, right? Because he's in it. Christian has that Money in the Bank, but we're not going to add him.
The
Hangman.
The steel envelope in a bag.
The steel envelope in the bag. Swerve is,
100%.
Ricochet is apparently going for it.
Kenny.
But I just named 5 people, and Kenny and Okada are not there.
Right.
Will Ospreay, not there.
Not to get all nostalgic about like the Attitude Era, but what the Attitude Era did right amongst a lot of weird wrongs is that they had a main event of 6 guys who were all going for that belt. And when they weren't going for that belt, they were still feuding with each other.
Yes.
New Japan did this for many years with Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Right? Where you had your 6 guys always in the main and they were always rotating. AEW doesn't have that. I think they should eliminate one of the ancillary belts.
And I think that's the crutch here. I think that's what's preventing that, because what happens is you have the Continental title and you have the International title and you got the TV title and you got the World title, right? So I'm not saying this is his booking philosophy, but the way that I see it is we have Okada, but we don't want to ever beat him.
Right.
And we don't know how to position him in this right now because we're doing this thing. And they also have Lashley, by the way. They have Lashley.
Shelton. Ospreay.
Okay, so look at this mix. If I'm building a top 5, Okada should be in there. Lashley should be in there. Cope should be in there because he's a legacy name. Moxley's been there. Hangman, MJF, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. You could bring Danielson back for a program.
Exactly.
It is endless. The amount of talent that they have is endless, but you have these secondary titles. I think what they need to do is, I always like the WCW model where if you have the United States Championship, you could forfeit it to challenge for the world title.
Yeah.
I think they should do that with the Continental. And that tournament should be whenever someone puts it in.
Like an X Division title.
Like an X Division title thing or a US title thing. You hand in that title and you say, no, I'm done with this. I've reigned supreme with this title. Or you drop it, and then you can move on. But I want the world title.
I agree with you. I would love, this is again fanboy booking, but I would love if storyline wise an angry Tony Khan shows up and he says, "Listen, I'm done with these belts." Strips everybody except for the
Oh no, it's WCW the redo.
strips everybody of the titles, and then they hold a different version of like what a G1 would be.
I'm curious what that would look like if you did it annually. You know, like that becomes a part of your company. We're like, okay, April 1st is the great reset.
Yeah, we're doing
the world champion. The world champion is he gets skips around or whatever. He gets a bye, and then he goes into the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
if you're the world champion, you go into the quarterfinals, and then you could do something. I don't like a reset, but I think if you do something, I'm not talking about AEW doing this. I'm just fantasy booking. Things could be done properly.
Isn't that
100%?
Isn't that what Continental Classic already is?
Kind of, yeah. It is a
It is a
reset. Yeah,
tournament.
it is a reset. Yeah, it is a
But
reset.
I do.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Think about again, this is fanboy stuff talking, but like think about the roster they have now, the names that we just mentioned, right? Wouldn't you like to see that G1 style tournament with those guys?
I would love that.
And then have that winner face.
Well, I think the
the
Continental Classic should be that. By the way,
for the title,
it should be for the Continental title. It should be
for the world title.
No. I'm fine with the Continental, but it should be your best of your best.
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing anybody, but why wouldn't Kenny be in it? Why wouldn't this one be in it? Why wouldn't that one be in it? The other thing I was also thinking was, obviously perception is everything. Perception is reality. They are not perceived as a top thing right now to many people.
Yeah.
Still fantastic. It's great wrestling, but how do you change the perception? I don't know. There's no big acquisitions to get. Like when WCW happened, remember Hogan went there, Randy went there, and some other people went there, and really didn't do much.
Right.
They were still. I mean, they did big numbers for what they were doing, but it wasn't like they're beating WWE. It wasn't until a hot story happened.
Exactly.
That's what they need. They have all the pieces there. They need a hot story.
Yeah.
And this is a company that has built the philosophy that wrestling is wrestling, and that's what their core audience wants. But that core audience is getting smaller and smaller because, we are a very small portion of who consumes wrestling.
Yes.
So they're in a weird transition period.
They're also still a very new company.
It's still a very new company.
I look at it. I tend to look at it from like a collector's perspective, and I know a lot of like, for example, like toy collectors, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of toy collectors I know who have massive collections. It's almost like a Tony Khan thing, where it's like, think about it this way: think of this philosophy. I have all the toys I want.
Yeah,
I don't have room for them, but I also don't want to get rid of them.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a certain mentality, which could be applied to this because this is one of the greatest rosters in pro wrestling history.
Yeah.
If you think about it, right?
So Tony's a hoarder, is what you just said.
No, I think he has a great eye for great talent, but you have to. I don't know what else they could do. It's going to piss off the core audience.
Yeah.
Whatever they do will piss off the core audience because they have to get a little sports entertaining.
I think we have to get used to that.
They don't want that.
But I think we have to get used to that notion as a fact because nobody will ever be happy.
Nobody will ever be happy.
And that's the unfortunate part about pro wrestling. Like you go on X, you go on whatever, and it's just everybody taking a dump on every single thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I feel like I also think they should just do stuff to make a good story and not please anybody. You know, like, oh, we want to see this, we want to see that. Listen, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Kim Gray, what do you see Cena doing at Mania?
Maybe beating Cody, or maybe he becomes a corporate champion and he finally turns.
That's just a big handshake with The Rock.
Oh, dude, that would be incredible.
Comes out all
It'll
black.
be a wild pop.
Comes out. You know what the opposite of Cena in jorts would be?
What?
If this guy comes out dressed like Sherlock Holmes or some shit. Just like deerstalker hat. He's got that cape.
The magnifying glass, dude.
This is from Casey Wright. Is it true that MG is legally obligated to only ever wear Daisy Dukes because of a settlement?
Yep.
Yeah. But he's got that high thong under them Daisy Dukes.
They found me.
You know what the problem was? He had a structured settlement and he needed cash now, and he didn't go to JG Wentworth. He came to us, and part of the provision was that he has to wear Daisy Dukes.
We were like, here's a couple of bucks. Put on those Daisy Dukes.
Now dance for me.
You look good, sweetheart.
Now do your dance.
You look good, sweetheart. How many times a day do you hear that?
I heard it the other day at the bar. I heard it the other day. Somebody was very much that guy. And
That's
like,
what Vince's new promotion is going to be, by the way. Men. I'm sorry to cut you off. You were saying he was like, "Sweet, come on, sweetheart."
All right, one more vodka tonic, sweetheart. One more drink. Okay, thanks, sweetheart.
It was great, sweetheart. Paul Anthony Moss. When Best Wrestler Alive gimmicks first started for Max Caster, I thought it would bury him. Gotta admit, I found it pretty entertaining since Hangman chased him through the arena. What are your thoughts?
That was funny. That was good stuff. Yeah. All right, let's bang through this.
All right, trust the process. Another super chat. What do you think is the perfect roster number for AEW to maximize its potential? What % of the current roster would they need to cut? I don't think they need to cut anything. I think they just need to drive it in the right direction.
You have Ring of Honor. You can move some people to Ring of Honor and build that brand if you're getting TV. I mean, who do you cut? You're not going to cut your top.
Yeah.
And you need the young guys to build, you know.
Mm-hmm. But also, listen, we can book all we want all day.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, it's also like we don't have to deal with these personalities.
Yeah.
You know, there's a million people on that roster with a million different personalities, you know, and of course, how many people are going to be like, doesn't work for me?
Yeah.
You know, let's see here. Paul Anthony Moss again. Regarding AEW titles, never liked TK keeping AEW women's title holder and TNT holder apart. Hurts the rest of the division to me. They'll ever have a tag mid-card title.
I don't. They shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
They shouldn't have it. They don't need it.
Yeah.
They don't have the roster for that, and they have too many titles. I don't think Mercedes should be in that mix for the TNT. I think she needs to be going for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
That's the position you need to put this in.
That's the all-in match to me. Yeah, Tony and Mercedes.
That's a great all-in match. That's a great all-in match.
This is Balor Club. What's up? What if Roman interrupts Rock and Cody at Chamber? Roman gets mad at Rock for choosing Cody to be Rock's champ. Rock versus Roman in Vegas.
Cool. I'll take that.
That's cool, but that would de facto have to end up being the main event, right?
Yeah.
But you have to. I do feel like it's going to be Cody Cena. I do think it should be Cody Cena.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing with Cody Cena.
The main should be Cody Cena, but you have two nights.
Yeah.
You know, you have two nights. You could do Dwayne and somebody, and you could do Cody Cena, or maybe Dwayne doesn't do it. I don't know. All right, one more. Any
update on the AEW India TV?
I have nothing. I asked. I got nothing. Nobody knows. All right, boys.
Yeah.
And girls. I'm out of here. I got to go.
Yeah.
Love each and every one of you. I'll see you all next week. Enjoy the pay-per-view. Bye-bye for now.
Goodbye. PTFN.